Hi, I'm Julio.
And I'm the AI that will make this story even more unpredictable.
Here's how it works. I write the first 4 chapters full of mystery, clues, and twists.
And then I step in to write the final chapter.
But here's the challenge. Can you guess the ending the AI will create before it's revealed?
I doubt you can. My endings always have a hidden surprise.
So, join us. Hit the like button if you enjoy the idea and share in the comments how you think this story should end. Will your theory beat the AI's twist? I feel the watch's weight shift in my palm as I make the final gesture. Perfect misdirection. The audience gasps, then erupts in applause. All these finance types, so easily fooled by a simple sleight of hand. I bow, the spotlights hot against my skin, my smile practiced and precise. And now, Mr. Hargrove's watch will reappear. I pause for effect, reaching behind the ear of a woman in Chanel, right here. More applause, more champagne glasses raised. The glittering Manhattan skyline frames the penthouse windows behind them, 1,000 lights like stars fallen to earth. I hand the golden pocket watch back to Hargrove, maintaining eye contact just as my father taught me. Never let them look at your hands. Remarkable, he says, his voice carrying the practiced polish of old money. But something's wrong in his eyes, a glint of something knowing, something planned. I feel it before I understand it. The watch is different. Not in appearance, perhaps, but in the subtle weight distribution that only trained fingers would notice. I've held hundreds of watches. This isn't the one I borrowed 3 minutes ago. My smile remains fixed as I scan the room. The host, Elliot Blackwood, watches me from beside the bar. His expression doesn't match the champagne-fueled delight of his guests. He nods, almost imperceptibly. "Thank you for a wonderful performance, Miss Valmont," Blackwood announces, crossing the room toward me. "Let's give our illusionist another round of applause." I slip the watch into my sleeve, heart racing. My fingers find an engraving on the back that shouldn't be there, microscopic but distinct under my fingertips. 03.17, don't forget the elevator. A coded message, planted for me. The crowd begins to disperse, returning to their conversations. I need to leave, to examine this watch properly, to figure out who's playing games with me. "Miss Valmont," Blackwood says, now beside me, his voice low enough that only I can hear. "I believe you have something that doesn't belong to you," I reply, maintaining composure. His laugh is hollow. "Indeed, though sometimes the magician becomes part of someone else's trick, wouldn't you agree?" Behind him, I notice Hargrove checking his own watch, the real one, and signaling to 2 men by the entrance, men with the rigid posture of security, or worse. The elevator chimes in the hallway, 3:17 precisely. "I've enjoyed your skills tonight," Blackwood whispers, "but the real performance is just beginning." Something cold touches my back, the barrel of a gun, expertly concealed by his jacket. "Now," he continues, "we're going to take that elevator together, and you're going to explain exactly who sent you. The problem is, no one sent me. This wasn't a job. It was supposed to be a simple performance, a cover for stealing Blackwood's private ledger. But now I'm caught in something far more dangerous, a trap not of my making." And the elevator doors are sliding open. The elevator descends with brutal efficiency. I count the floors in my head, mapping escape routes. Blackwood stands too close, his cologne mixing with the metallic scent of the gun still pressed against my ribs. "I've been watching your career with interest, Miss Valmont," he says. "The diamond exchange last year, the Guggenheim incident, all very impressive." My stomach drops faster than the elevator. Those jobs were ghosts. No evidence, no witnesses, certainly no connection to my public persona. "I don't know what you're talking about," I say, fingers still tracing the engraving on the switched watch in my pocket. "I'm just an illusionist, And I'm just a venture capitalist. His smile is reptilian. Let's not insult each other. The doors open onto an underground parking garage, concrete and shadows. Two men in dark suits wait beside a black Lexus. Not standard security. These are professionals with cold, assessing eyes. After you, Blackwood gestures. I step out, calculating angles, distances, probability of survival if I run. Not good. The watch, he says, hand extended. I hesitate, then surrender it. He examines it under the harsh fluorescent light, his expression unreadable. Where did you get this? I ask. He ignores me, turning to the taller of his men. Bring the car around, we're going to the warehouse. A warehouse? Never a good destination in this scenario. The shorter man moves closer, reaching for my arm. I step into his space instead of away, a magician's counterintuitive move, and his balance shifts. My elbow connects with his sternum. He doubles over as I pivot, driving my knee upward. The gun fires. Concrete explodes near my feet. I freeze. Impressive, Blackwood says, the smoking barrel now pointed at my head, but unnecessary. I'm not your enemy, Nina. He uses my first name, intimate, manipulative. The fallen guard groans, struggling to his feet. The watch was a test, Blackwood continues, one you just passed. A test for what? My voice sounds steadier than I feel. For someone who can retrieve what was stolen from me? A job offer? At gunpoint? The Lexus purrs into view, headlights cutting through the underground dimness. The driver steps out, a woman in her 50s with steel gray hair and the poised confidence of old danger. Is this her? She asks, assessing me with a surgeon's precision. Diana Frost, Blackwood introduces her with unexpected deference. My head of security. Right, and I'm just an illusionist. The watch belonged to her father, Frost says, eyes never leaving mine. Julian Valmont. My heart stops. My father's dead, 15 years now. Frost's expression doesn't change. Is he? The world tilts sideways. What are you saying? 3 weeks ago, Blackwood says, a man using sophisticated sleight of hand techniques broke into my private vault and stole something irreplaceable. Security footage was compromised, but we captured this. He holds up his phone. The image is grainy, a tall figure in shadow, turning slightly toward the camera. The face is mostly obscured, but the stance, the way he holds his shoulders, that's not my father. I say, but uncertainty creeps into my voice. The thief left this. Frost hands me a playing card, the King of Hearts, my father's signature, the card he taught me to palm before I could tie my shoes. Impossible, I whisper. The message on the watch, Blackwood says. It's his handwriting. My mind races through possibilities. A setup? A complex con? Or, what was stolen? I ask. A ledger, Frost answers, containing information that could destroy lives, including yours. The elevator chimes again. We all turn as the doors open. Empty. We should go, Frost says sharply. Blackwood nods. Get in the car, Nina. We have much to discuss. I hesitate. Trust these people? Run? Both options feel like walking into quicksand. The ledger contains the true identity of a covert operative codenamed Monarch, Blackwood continues. If exposed, dozens of intelligence assets will be compromised. What does this have to do with me? Monarch's real name, he says, watching my reaction carefully, is Julian Valmont. The garage lights suddenly cut out, complete darkness. Then emergency lights flicker on, bathing everything in red. We've been compromised. Frost hisses, drawing a weapon from beneath her jacket. A high-pitched whine fills the air, the fire suppression system. White gas begins pouring from ceiling vents. Move, Blackwood shouts, grabbing my arm. Too late. The gas clouds my vision, burns my throat. Through the haze, I see figures in tactical gear swarming from the stairwell. Nina Valmont. A distorted voice calls through a mask. By order of federal authority, you're being detained for questioning regarding national security matter 7-1-9. As consciousness fades, the watch in Blackwood's hand catches the red emergency light, gleaming like fresh blood. My last thought is of my father's face. Not as I remembered him, but as he might look now, alive and pulling invisible strings. The world goes black. Cold water hits my face. I jerk awake, gasping, handcuffed to a steel table in a windowless room. Government-issue gray walls. Surveillance camera in the corner. The bitter taste of the knockout gas lingers on my tongue. "Good morning, Ms. Valmont." The man across from me wears a crisp navy suit. No tie, no badge, no name offered. Apologies for the dramatic extraction. "Federal authority," I say, my voice hoarse. "Which agency, exactly?" He smiles thinly. "Let's call it interagency cooperation." My performing clothes are gone, replaced with standard-issue scrubs. No watch, no tools, not even a hairpin. "Blackwood and Frost?" I ask. "In custody. Elliot Blackwood has been on our radar for some time. Financial crimes, primarily. But recently, something more concerning." Images flash through my mind. Blackwood's knowing smile, Frost's cold efficiency, the grainy photo of someone who couldn't be my father. I was 8 when pneumonia took him, coughing his life away in our small apartment while I held his hand. "The watch," I say. "Where is it?" "Being analyzed." He slides a folder across the table. "More interesting is what we found in your apartment." The folder contains photographs of my storage wall, the hidden panel exposed. All my tools, fake IDs, the proceeds from jobs dating back 3 years. "We've been building a case against you for months," he says. Quite the resume. But tonight wasn't about arresting a cat burglar. Then what was it about? Project Monarch. My father's card trick flickers in memory. The monarch butterfly vanishing, reappearing, transforming. His favorite illusion. "You think my father was some kind of spy?" I laugh, but it sounds hollow even to me. "We know he was." He slides another photo across the table. My father. Unmistakably him, but older than I ever saw him, standing beside a younger Blackwood. The timestamp shows 2005. 6 years after he supposedly died. My fingers tremble against the cold metal table. That's impossible. Julian Valmont was recruited in 1987, deep cover operative specializing in acquiring sensitive information through non-traditional means. "Magic tricks," I translate. "Among other skills." He leans forward. "He was presumed killed during an operation in Prague in 1999, the year he died in my arms. But 3 weeks ago, his unique signature appeared on a high-security breach at Blackwood Ventures." He taps the folder. "The same night, your name was searched in our database from Blackwood's private server." He set me up, I realize aloud. Blackwood knew who I was before he hired me for that performance. Or someone wanted us to think that. The door opens. A woman enters. Early 40s, sharp features, sharper eyes. Her suit screams federal authority louder than any badge. "I'm taking over, Richards," she says. He hesitates, then exits without argument. Power dynamics clear. She sits, studying me with uncomfortable intensity. "Nina Valmont, Yale dropout, child prodigy in prestidigitation, following in daddy's footsteps, both on stage and off." She places a small recorder on the table. "I'm Special Agent Vega, counterintelligence." Am I being charged with something? That depends on what you tell me about Operation Looking Glass. The name sends an electric current through me. My father's voice, a half-remembered conversation. Never mention Looking Glass, not to anyone. Promise me, Butterfly. I'd forgotten until this moment. "I don't know what that is," I say, too quickly. Vega's eyes narrow. The ledger Blackwood claims was stolen contained the identities of deep cover operatives placed through Looking Glass, including your father. My father was a street magician who died of pneumonia. Your father was a spy who faked his death when an operation went sideways. She pushes a button on the recorder. And I think you've always known that. My father's voice fills the room. Nina will be ready. She has the gift. The program needs her. My blood freezes. His voice, exactly as I remember it. Where did you get that? I demand. December 1998. Your father reporting to his handler. She stops the recording. He was preparing you, Nina, training you not just as a magician, but as his replacement. I shake my head, memories colliding. Dad teaching me to pick pockets as a game. Memory exercises disguised as magic tricks. Languages learned for international performances we never gave. If this is true, I say carefully, why would he resurface now, after all these years? That's what I need you to tell me. She unlocks my handcuffs. Because something catastrophic is coming, and I think he's trying to warn us through you. The lights flicker. Vega glances up, suddenly alert. We need to move, she says, pulling me to my feet. What's happening? Security breach. We're evacuating. She guides me through a maze of corridors. Alarm sirens wail. Armed personnel run past us. The watch, I say, pulling back. I need to see it again. This isn't the time. The inscription, 03.17. What time is it now? She glances at her wrist. 3:15 a.m. 2 minutes. In the distance, an explosion rocks the building. Dust rains from the ceiling. That's our extraction point compromised, Vega says grimly. A thought clicks into place. The elevator. The message said, don't forget the elevator. What elevator? We're in a secure underground facility. Another explosion, closer. The lights cut out completely. Emergency lighting bathes everything in that same blood-red glow from the parking garage. This way, Vega pulls me down another corridor. We round a corner and stop short. A bank of elevators I hadn't seen during our rushed evacuation. These shouldn't be here, Vega says, drawing her weapon. This section was decommissioned decades ago. The center elevator pings. 3.17. The doors slide open. Inside stands a man I haven't seen in 20 years. Older, scarred across one cheek, but unmistakable. Hello, butterfly, my father says, extending his hand. We don't have much time. Behind us, footsteps approach rapidly. Not Vegas people. Nina, don't, Vega warns, her gun now trained on my father. He meets my eyes. The king reveals at midnight, just like I taught you. Our code, our secret. Vega's radio crackles. Agent Vega, be advised, the prisoner is priority alpha. Terminate if extraction appears imminent. I look between them, heart hammering. The father I thought dead, the agent ready to kill me. The elevator doors begin to close. I make my choice. I lunge forward into the elevator. Vega fires. The bullet grazes my shoulder as the door slams shut. Pain blazes white-hot across my skin. Hold still, my father says, pressing a handkerchief against the wound. His hands are older than I remember, cross-hatched with scars I don't recognize. You're dead, I manage through clenched teeth. I watched you die. You watched what I needed the world to see. The elevator descends rapidly, too rapidly for a normal lift, including you. Why? The question contains 20 years of grief, confusion, rage. Because children can't fake grief, Nina. Your genuine mourning sold my death better than any death certificate. The cold calculation behind this statement stuns me more than the bullet wound. Where are we going? I ask, as the elevator plummets past what should be the lowest basement. Somewhere safe. For now. The elevator stops with a gentle bump. The doors open onto what appears to be an abandoned subway platform, dimly lit by scattered emergency lights. The air smells of dust and ozone. City Hall Station. I recognize the elegant, abandoned architecture, closed since 1945, one of many shadow sites established during the Cold War. He guides me toward a metal door set into the curved wall. The government forgot about this place decades ago. Others didn't. Others, like Monarch? His stride falters slightly.
You know more than you should. I know nothing, I snap, except that my entire life is apparently built on your lies. The door opens to a surprisingly modern control room. Banks of computers, surveillance feeds, a medical area in one corner where a slight man in glasses waits. She's hit, my father tells him, clean through, no lodged bullet. The man nods, gesturing me to a chair without speaking. As he treats my wound with practiced efficiency, I study my father. The scar across his cheek is jagged, knife wound, poorly stitched. His left hand is missing the pinky finger. His eyes are the same, though, calculating, watchful. Looking glass, I say. Blackwood, the ledger. Start talking. He glances at the surveillance feeds. We have 17 minutes before they triangulate this location. Clock's ticking. He almost smiles. My mother's expression on his face. Looking Glass was a joint CIA-NSA program established in 1982. Deep cover operatives with specialized skills, embedded in private sector positions. Magicians, I say. Some. Also mathematicians, engineers, artists, anyone who could hide information in plain sight. The program was officially terminated in 2001, but actually privatized, transferred to military contractors, including Blackwood Ventures. The medic finishes with my shoulder, secures a bandage, and retreats without a word. The ledger, I press. My father's expression darkens. Not just operatives' names, evidence of something worse. Project Cassandra. On a nearby screen, security camera footage shows federal agents swarming the building we just escaped. Cassandra was designed to predict financial market collapses, he continues, but Blackwood corrupted it. He's been using the algorithm to engineer controlled crashes. Black Wednesday in London, the Asian market crisis, all manufactured. For profit? Initially. But power becomes its own reward. He pulls out the golden watch, somehow retrieved during our escape. This was my handler's, Benjamin Frost. Diana Frost's husband? Brother. Both NSA, both compromised. He runs his thumb over the inscription. Ben was murdered 3 weeks ago, made to look like suicide. The pieces start shifting in my mind. You stole the ledger to expose Blackwood. To save you, his voice roughens. When Ben discovered Blackwood's plans for a global market reset, a manufactured financial apocalypse, he left contingencies. One was this watch, programmed to find you if anything happened to him. Programmed? It's mechanical. He pries open the back, revealing microelectronics nestled among the gears. Old-world craftsmanship hiding cutting-edge tech, like the best magic tricks. And like you hiding me in plain sight, I realize. You've been watching me all these years. Protecting you, training you from a distance. The betrayal cuts deeper than the bullet. For what? To make me another one of your chess pieces? To keep you alive, his composure cracks. Blackwood has been eliminating everyone connected to Looking Glass. Former agents, their handlers, their families. The implications hit like a physical blow. Mom's car accident? That wasn't random. His silence confirms everything. A red light begins flashing on the control panel. One of the technicians calls out, "Proximity alert! Multiple teams converging." Government? My father asks. Negative. Private contractors, Blackwood's people.
My father checks his watch, his real one. How did they find us so quickly? The medic suddenly straightens, reaches inside his lab coat. I react on instinct, lunging forward to tackle him just as he pulls out a compact transmitter. "Tracer," I say, twisting his wrist until he drops it. "He's been broadcasting our location." Security feeds show armed teams entering the subway tunnels from multiple access points. My father moves with surprising speed for his age, securing the traitor with zip ties. "New plan," he says, pulling a hard drive from one of the computers. "This contains everything. The ledger data, Cassandra's algorithms, proof of Blackwood's market manipulations." He presses it into my hands. "There's a secondary exit through the old maintenance tunnels. Take this to Diana Frost." "Diana? But you said she was compromised." "Not willingly. Blackwood has leverage on her. She's been feeding me information for months." He inputs a code that begins wiping the computer systems. The watch has her secure contact protocol. "You're coming with me, I insist." He shakes his head. "Someone needs to ensure this place is scrubbed completely, and I'm better at disappearing than you are." Gunfire echoes from the subway platform. "Time's up." "Northeast tunnel," he says, pushing me toward a narrow passageway. 3 lefts, then a right at the junction with the green pipes. Follow the chalk marks. "Dad." My voice breaks on the word. He presses something else into my hand. A playing card. The King of Hearts. "Midnight," he says. "Remember." I run, the hard drive clutched against my chest, his card in my hand. The tunnel stretches ahead, dark except for sporadic emergency lights casting blood-red shadows. Behind me, gunfire intensifies. Then an explosion shakes the entire tunnel system. Dust and concrete fragments rain down. I keep moving, following my father's directions, fighting the urge to turn back. 3 lefts, right at the green pipes. The chalk marks lead to a rusty ladder. I climb one-handed, my injured shoulder screaming in protest. At the top, a utility access hatch opens into an alley somewhere in lower Manhattan. Emerging into the pre-dawn gloom, I check the watch's inscription again. Hidden beneath the 03.17 message is another, visible only at certain angles. DF, Grand Central, Locker 42. A meeting place, a dead drop, my next move. I turn toward 3rd Avenue, planning to vanish into the early morning commuters. Then my phone buzzes, a phone I don't recognize, somehow slipped into my pocket during the chaos. One new message: "Blackwood has your father."
Bring the hard drive to the Millennium Clock in Grand Central. 1 hour. Come alone. Attached is a photo, my father, bloodied but alive, holding today's newspaper. The timestamp shows it was taken 2 minutes ago, which is impossible. The explosion, the gunfire, he couldn't have been captured that quickly. Unless he was never there at all. The watch suddenly feels heavier in my pocket. The hard drive too valuable in my hands. I've been playing someone else's game from the beginning, and I still don't know whose.
Grand Central buzzes with early commuters. I move through them like smoke, invisible in their midst. The hard drive burns against my ribs where I've strapped it beneath my jacket. My wounded shoulder throbs with each heartbeat. Locker 42 first, the Millennium Clock second. I need to understand what I'm walking into before I face whoever's waiting. The lockers occupy a forgotten corner near the old oyster bar. Number 42 sits at eye level, its brass plate tarnished with age. The watch's inscription didn't include a combination, but my fingers find scratches around the dial. Someone's opened this recently. I try my father's birthday. Nothing. My mother's. Nothing. Then I remember the card he gave me, the King of Hearts. In a proper deck, the King of Hearts is the only king without a mustache. Card number 13. 13, 13, 13. The lock clicks open. Inside, a single manila envelope, no markings. I tear it open. Photographs spill into my hands. My father and Blackwood, but not from 2005. These are recent, last month, according to the digital timestamps. They're shaking hands outside Blackwood Ventures, laughing over drinks, reviewing documents together. Partners, not enemies. A handwritten note in Diana Frost's precise script. Nina, if you're reading this, I'm likely dead. Your father didn't steal the ledger. He and Blackwood created a false trail to draw out the last opposition to Cassandra, me. Ben discovered the truth before they killed him. Everything Julian told you is a lie designed to weaponize you. The hard drive you're carrying doesn't contain evidence. It contains a worm that will destroy the backup systems, preventing the market crash. Don't go to the clock. Destroy the drive. Run. I'm sorry. My hands shake. The alley, the tunnel, the explosion. He was never in danger. The medic wasn't Blackwood's traitor. He was Diana's, trying to stop the broadcast that would lead me exactly where they wanted. And I stopped him. I played my part perfectly.
A woman's voice cuts through my spiral. You opened it. I spin. Diana Frost stands 3 feet away, her weapon drawn but lowered. She looks exhausted, hunted. A fresh bruise purples her left cheek. The note, I manage. Written 2 days ago, after I realized what Julian was planning. She glances around the terminal. We need to move. They're tracking that drive. Why should I trust you? Because I'm the only person in this mess who's told you the truth from the beginning. She steps closer. At the parking garage, I said the watch belonged to my father. It didn't. It belonged to Ben, my brother. Your father gave it to him as a trophy after Ben discovered Cassandra. The pieces realign, each click more sickening than the last. The message on the watch, I say slowly. Dad didn't leave it for me. Ben did, before they killed him. Ben managed to smuggle it to me. I had it analyzed, found the microelectronics. Then I leaked its existence to Blackwood, knowing Julian would find a way to get it to you. Her eyes are hard. I needed you to surface so I could warn you. Warn me of what? You're not just the delivery system for the worm. You're the scapegoat. She pulls out her phone, shows me a news alert dated 2 hours from now. Market terrorist Nina Valmont, daughter of deceased CIA operative, attacks financial systems. Government manhunt underway. The article is already written, already queued, waiting only for me to plug the drive into the terminal at the Millennium Clock. The real ledger, I say. Where is it? There never was one. Cassandra is an algorithm, nothing physical to steal. But the story needed a MacGuffin. She holsters her weapon. Your father has been working with Blackwood for 5 years. They've been systematically eliminating everyone who knew about Looking Glass. Ben, other former agents, your mother. The grief hits fresh, raw. Why keep me alive? Insurance, a sleeper asset if they needed one. But mostly, Julian couldn't quite kill his own daughter. So he crafted an elaborate alternative. Make me complicit. Make me guilty. Make me disappeared. The photo they sent, I say, of him captured. Staged. He's at Blackwood Ventures right now, preparing to activate Cassandra the moment that worm destroys the backup protocols. She checks her watch. You have 37 minutes before the market reset begins. Once it starts, trillions in wealth vanish. Currencies collapse. The chaos will last years. I look at the hard drive pressed against my chest. This small thing, this trap my father built. Why not just destroy it yourself? Because I need you to testify, to expose them. And because, she hesitates, because you deserve the choice he never gave you. The Millennium Clock looms across the terminal. I can see figures waiting there. My father, probably. Blackwood security, maybe federal agents in on it. All waiting for me to complete the trick. There's a third option, Diana says quietly. We bring the drive to the FBI field office. The real FBI, not the contractors Blackwood owns. I have one contact left who's clean.
And if that contact is compromised too, then we both die and Cassandra activates anyway. She extends her hand. But at least we die trying. I study her, the bruises, the exhaustion, the weapon she hasn't threatened me with once. Then I study the hard drive, my father's final trick, and I'm the mechanism that makes it work. A memory surfaces. I'm 7, learning the cups and balls. Dad's hands guiding mine. The secret, butterfly, is making them think they're ahead of you. Let them feel clever. Then show them they never had a chance. I've been performing his routine without knowing it. Every move choreographed, every choice anticipated. Except one. The worm, I say. It needs to be plugged into a specific terminal. The main financial access terminal, at the clock. I feel the weight of the drive, the shape of it. 20 years of training reads its dimensions, its construction. What if we don't destroy it or deliver it? I meet Diana's eyes. What if we reverse it? Her expression sharpens. Explain. You said it's designed to destroy backup protocols, but a worm is just code. If we can access it, we can reprogram it. I'm thinking like my father now, which feels like a betrayal and a weapon all at once. Instead of destroying backups, it creates them, preserves the evidence of Cassandra's activation, makes it impossible to hide. You'd need a systems engineer, time, equipment, or a magician. I start walking toward the lower level. And a good distraction. She follows. What distraction? Me, delivering exactly what they expect. The terminal access room sits near the old pneumatic tube system. Diana picks the lock while I study the drive's casing. My father taught me lock-picking, safe-cracking, sleight of hand. But my mother taught me coding. Before the accident, that wasn't an accident. Before they erased that part of my history too. Inside the drive, circuit boards nest like Russian dolls. I trace the pathways with my fingertips, reading the architecture like a card trick in reverse. 10 minutes, Diana says, keeping watch. I find the worm's payload. Elegant, vicious. Designed to cascade through financial networks, deleting backup after backup until no recovery is possible. My mother's voice echoes across the years. Every program has an inverse, baby. You just have to find the mirror. I start rewiring, not changing the worm's structure, but reversing its polarity. Destroying becomes preserving. Erasing becomes documenting. It takes 8 minutes. Done, I say. I think. You think? I'm a magician, not an engineer. I close the casing. There's only one way to find out. We emerge into the main terminal. The Millennium Clock reads 6:47 a.m., 13 minutes until the market opens. My father stands beneath the clock face, exactly where the message said he'd be. Older than in the parking garage elevator? No, the same age. I see it now, how the lighting in that abandoned station was carefully controlled, how his face stayed in shadow, how perfectly he performed concern. Blackwood stands beside him. No pretense of hostage situations now. I approach slowly, the hard drive visible in my hand. Butterfly, my father says warmly, I knew you'd understand. Understand what? I stop 10 feet away, close enough to talk, far enough to run. That some systems need to burn before they can be rebuilt. That the world's current power structures are corrupt beyond repair. His eyes shine with zealot certainty. Cassandra isn't destruction, it's evolution. It's mass suffering, I counter. People will lose everything. And from that loss, we create something better, something we control. Blackwood steps forward. Your father has been planning this for 20 years, since Looking Glass, since Prague. Prague, where he supposedly died. What really happened in Prague, I ask. My father's smile turns melancholic. I saw the future, Nina. Saw how the intelligence community had been compromised by money. How every operation served corporate interests. So I did what any good operative does. I went dark, built new alliances, waited for the right moment. And Mom? His expression doesn't change. Collateral damage. She figured out I was alive. She was going to expose everything. The casual admission of murder, of my mother's murder, spoken like a weather report. Something cold solidifies in my chest. Not grief, not rage, clarity. The drive. Blackwood extends his hand. We don't have time for sentiment. I look at my father. Really look at him. See past the man I grieved for 20 years. See the stranger wearing his face. You taught me magic, I say, but you also taught me something else. The king reveals at midnight. His expression shifts slightly. What are you doing? Finishing the trick. I pull out my phone, press dial on a number Diana programmed earlier. The King of Hearts, the only king without a mustache. The Suicide King, they call it. The blade pointing at his own head. Nina, warning in his voice now. You built this elaborate con, made me the mechanism, but you forgot the cardinal rule. I meet his eyes. Never let your mark realize they're smarter than you. On my phone screen, a conference call connects. Multiple lines. FBI, SEC, NSA, media outlets, all recording. I'm Nina Valmont, I say clearly, my voice carrying through the terminal and through the phone. And I'm about to expose Project Cassandra. My father moves fast, reaching for a weapon. But Diana's faster, her gun trained on him before he completes the draw. Federal agent, she announces. Julian Valmont, Elliot Blackwood, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit economic terrorism. Real FBI agents pour into the terminal from multiple entrances. Not contractors, not Blackwood's people. The clean contact Diana mentioned. Blackwood runs. 2 agents tackle him before he reaches the exit. My father doesn't run. He stares at me with something like admiration. You rewired the drive. You taught me to think 3 moves ahead, but I learned to think 4. The agents surround us. Diana keeps her weapon steady, but her eyes find mine. She nods once. Acknowledgement. Respect. The drive, Miss Valmont, an FBI agent says, approaching carefully. I hand it over. It's programmed to document Cassandra's activation protocols and preserve all evidence of market manipulation. Plug it in at 7 a.m. precisely. Let them activate their own trap. My father laughs. Actually laughs. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I really did train you well. No, I say. Mom did. You just showed me what not to become. They cuff him, read his rights. He doesn't resist. As they lead him away, he turns back once. Midnight. Butterfly. The king always reveals at midnight. I check my watch. 6:58 a.m. 2 minutes until market open. Until Cassandra activates. Until the worm spreads through systems, but instead of destroying evidence, it preserves everything. Every transaction, every manipulation, every connection between Blackwood Ventures and Project Cassandra. Diana stands beside me as we watch the FBI execute the operation. You know this isn't over, she says. They'll have lawyers, allies and government, money. I know. You'll need to testify, possibly for years. You'll be a target. I know that too. The terminal clock strikes 7:00. Somewhere in the financial district, systems activate. The worm deploys. Evidence locks into place, impossible to erase. Diana's phone buzzes. She reads the message, allows herself a small smile. It's working. Every server they touch, we get more data. They're mapping their own network for us. The magicians reveal. Not what they expected, but what they made inevitable. Around us, morning commuters hurry past, unaware that their 401ks just stayed intact, that their savings are safe, that the world didn't end before breakfast. What happens to you now? Diana asks. Witness protection, probably. New identity, again. I touch my wounded shoulder, feeling the bandage beneath my jacket. Seems appropriate for a magician. Or you could work for us. She tilts her head. We're rebuilding Looking Glass, the right way this time. Oversight, ethics, no more monarchs. You're recruiting me? I'm offering you a choice, the one you never got before. She hands me a card, plain white, a phone number, nothing else. Think about it. The FBI escorts my father past us one final time. He's not laughing anymore, not smiling. He looks smaller somehow, diminished. He meets my eyes. I see him trying to calculate, to manipulate, to find one last angle. I turn away. The illusion is broken, the trick revealed. He's just a man who killed my mother and tried to burn the world for power dressed as principle. I walk toward the terminal exit, Diana beside me. The morning sun cuts through the high windows, illuminating dust motes like gold confetti. One question, I say, how did you know I'd choose to stop them? I didn't. I hoped. She pauses at the exit. But when you opened that locker, when you read my note and didn't run, I knew you were your mother's daughter, not his. The streets of Manhattan sprawl before us, millions of lives continuing, unaware they were minutes from catastrophe. I slip Diana's card into my pocket beside the King of Hearts. 2 futures, 2 paths. But for the first time in 20 years, the choice is actually mine. Behind us, my father disappears into a federal vehicle. The doors close, the car pulls away. The king reveals at midnight, he said, but it's morning now, and I'm still standing.